Hi guys, Righteous Raymond here, author of Gaslit, Escaping the Narcissist Pit. Also on my wall with the gold seal from Amazon. You all, please buy this book on Amazon. It's really good. But I'm going to read you all a subsection from my book. Want better, I want for it to get better, okay? Want better, I want for it to get better. This is from my chapter 10 titled Toxic Tango. Toxic Tango, okay? So I like to start off, my subsections with, or my chapters with quotes that really help me get through a difficult time. Not necessarily my quotes, but somebody's quote. This quote says, don't cling to a mistake just because you spend a lot of time making it or making that mistake. Don't cling to a mistake just because you spend a lot of time making it. Let me read y'all an excerpt from my book. You do not have to stay with a bad decision no matter how much you have invested in it. And maybe that is part of the problem. Maybe you stay bound longer because you are waiting for the payoffs. Maybe instead of wanting better, you want to wait for it to get better. Let me explain. The following example actually happened to me. This happened to me maybe like in 2019, 2020. Imagine you have just spent your Christmas bonus from your job to pay off your car. You are so glad to have the title of ownership in your hands after all these years in payments. You are released from a major debt that took up too much of your paycheck. With the extra money saved each month from having no car note and reduced car insurance since you no longer need full coverage, you decide to get a new paint job on the car because your car was keyed on both sides and the paint was peeling badly. Long story, but the key, making my car keyed. The day you get the car back from the paint shop, it breaks down. You did not even get to drive the car a full hour because it had to be towed to the dealership after driving. I drove the car maybe 30 minutes and it broke down. I thought I paid for a whole paint job. And to make matters their absolute worst, you find out that the car needs a whole new engine. And even a used engine would cost you thousands of dollars that you do not have. What do you do? I'm going to ask you, what do you do when you put that much into something? What do you do? Do you want for the lemon to get better, or do you want better? Do you invest more? This is page 181 now. Do you invest more thousands into a 9-year-old car that is falling apart? Or do you start afresh with a newer car or a new car that you really like? A car that will require no more repairs for several years, but a car that will add a new loan and higher car insurance. This is like what the codependent has to decide once they are at a crossroads. Once that narcissist, that toxic person does that really like trifling thing to you, and you're like, I can't stay here no more. That was so foul what you just did to me. I can't stay here no more. You're at a crossroads. You're like, do I cut them off forever? Do I just go no contact? This is like what the codependent has to decide once they are at a crossroads. Do we continue to pray for the improvement of the sucky person? Or do we walk into the new that we qualify for, endeavoring to meet and enjoy healthy people? You keep driving around this raggedy car, or you say, you know what? I got the income, I got the credit score, I got the down payment. Let me just get the car I really want, okay? I can actually enjoy this car. Not play around with this car forever for the next however many years it lasts. Why don't I just get a car I want? A car that matches my fly. I chose a newer car. I am so happy with it. Sure, I paid hundreds a month for it. Probably $340 a month. But if that is the cost for what I feel now, I am worth it. I got rid of the junk car that I was embarrassed to drive. I was so embarrassed. Yeah, that car, it was keyed, paint was peeling, it was always an engine light on at all times. I was embarrassed of that car. You have to ask yourself this question. Do I want better? It was a Kia Forte. Do I want an improved Kia Forte? And nowadays, in Memphis, I live in Memphis, the carjackers are stealing, the car thieves are stealing all the keys. All the keys getting stolen. So I'm glad I got rid of that car. Car been stolen and wrecked and everything. Do I want better, or do I just want for it to get better? There's a difference. A big difference. You say, what's the difference? It's a big difference between wanting it to get better and wanting better. You want a better Kia Forte, or you want a brand new car? There's a difference. Okay, so you have to ask yourself this question. Do I want better, or do I just want for it to get better? There's a difference, a big difference. Unfortunately, some of the things or people that you want have no potential to get better because they have free will. They don't have to get better. They can get worse. They can get a lot worse. And with that free will, they choose daily not to get any better. And they are definitely not going to choose to get any better for you. If they didn't get better, it was because they're facing jail time, the spouse is maybe threatening to take out their money or take half the business. They're not going to get better because they care about you or love you. Trust me, they're not getting better because they love you. They're getting better because the reputation is at stake. Like, the church, if he don't stop cheating on his wife, she may tell the church and they may kick him out as a pastor. Or he may stop stealing from the job because they may send him to jail. He's not getting better because he actually, in his heart, said, I shouldn't treat people like crap. That's very trifling of me. They're not going to do better because, for that purpose, they're going to do better because they're going to do better. They're going to just stop so they can get a reward or avoid a negative consequence. They do not care enough about you to do that. They're definitely not going to choose to get any better for you. They do not care enough about you to do that. As a codependent, you often deceive yourself into thinking that you want for them to get better for them. But actually, you might just be controlling and want for them to get better for you to have them in a way that pleases you. You know this person has no potential to do better. They're trifling. They've been showing it since they were 10 years old. They're just trifling. They're 50 years old. They've been trifling for 40 years and not going to get any better. You know that. But you're so self-centered and so fleshly and lustful for what you want. You're so ego. My image will look better if I'm with this person. It'll look bad if we break up. It's going to make me look bad. So I'm going to go ahead and work it out with him. You're sticking with the person because you have an ego and you have too much pride. Sometimes it's not because you're afraid they're going to hurt you or the children because you're depending on them financially. Sometimes you just have pride and ego and you don't want them to go because you don't want her to feel like she sold my man. Or I'm no longer a first lady, which is black churches called white. Black churches called first ladies. Pastors' wives are called first ladies in black churches. First ladies. So let's say you're married to a black pastor and you're this esteemed first lady of the church. And you're like, man, he cheated on me, he beat on me, but I don't want to leave him because, I want to be first lady. First ladies get first lady days. We get, people give us money and clothes and stuff like that. So we got holding on because you just want the lifestyle. But you have no right to do that. What if someone was praying for God to make you into who they want you to be, even if it is not at all what God and you want you to be? Sure, you should pray for God's will to be done in the lives of your children, spouse, and parishioners, church members. But you should not be praying for your will to be done in their lives. That is witchy. Like, that's what a witch is. A witch is a person who sits there and does spells. And I pray that I'm going to put a love potion on him and he's going to fall in love with me. And I'm going to pray that this child never leaves the home. And I'm going to pray. Like, that's a witch. That's what witches do. Witches try to enact their will, implement their will against other people's wills. That's a witch. So you may be a codependent, but you might be a codependent witch. The person has decided, I'm going to be a full-out drug addict, adulterer, and gambler. And you're sitting there trying to change their will. That's their free will. God lets them do that. Let them do that. You can still pray for them. Pray for them to be in God's will and that they live at their full potential. But you cannot make a person be something they don't want to be. Because no one's doing that to you. No one's making you be what they want you to be. What if somebody wanted you to lose 20 pounds or gain 20 pounds? What if somebody wanted you to make $20,000 more a year or make less or make $20,000 less a year? You don't want anybody to try to change your will, your free will, so let them have their free will. That's the whole point, free will. You do what you want to do with your life, okay? So yeah, pray for people to be their best, but you cannot make somebody be best out of their will. So yes, you all, do you just want it to get better? In other words, you want them to change to be who you want them to be? Or do you just want for better? Why don't you just leave that bad job and go to a better job? There's an idea. Why don't you leave that toxic church, that toxic pastor who berates you every Sunday morning, and go to a church where the pastor is kind and generous and loving and spiritual? Why don't you leave that roach-infested apartment where the landlord does not hear any of your requests, any of your cries for help, even you call a news station on him, and go to an apartment that's not like that? Sometimes, you all, we have to stop wanting for it to get better and just go for better. And whatever you got to do, increase your credit score, get a second job, work some part-time hours, do some research, go back to school. Y'all, it's probably not going to get any better. It happens sometimes. It does happen sometimes. But it don't happen often. And it's not usually because they just love you. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Please share, subscribe to my channel. My book on Amazon. Also my website, www.righteouswomen.com. Bye.